Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of How to Get Rich. And today we are moving on. We have done other business models. We have done affiliate. We have done investing. We have done Amazon, I think. It's been many weeks now. We've done a few. But this week we're talking about content creation. So when I was researching this project and this episode, I learned that more kids now want to be YouTubers than astronauts. And I don't think that's very surprising. That sounds like a boomer, as they would say, boomer metric, because all of them wanted to be astronauts. I don't know if I ever wanted to be an astronaut, but I also never wanted to be a content creator. And hence I'm now creating content. But aren't we all? Because that's really what the message is going to be here. The TLDR is content creation can be a traffic source or it can be a business. But for most people out there, the idea is that it's a traffic source. Because where do we get customers from? We get customers from our marketing engine, and content creation can be an amazing marketing engine. That being said, a content creator with 10,000 followers can make a lot more money than a content creator with 1 million followers. It all depends on what they're selling on the back end. So today what we're going to do, we're going to dive into content creation. We're going to figure out, is it for you? Is it for me? Well, I'm doing it right now. But is it for you? Is it for me? Or what can you get out of it? So we're also going to go for the best business advice that content creators hate hearing, that content is marketing. And there we're going to dive even deeper. So without further ado, let's get into the metrics of content creating. So we have our rich scale that we do here on the How to Get Rich series. So first we're going to go speed to first dollar. So speed to first dollar with content creation, slow. Unless you already have a following, there are many people that I've met with a significant following who still don't necessarily have many dollars or any dollars. So content creation is speed to first dollar is slow, unless you happen to accidentally go viral and then start selling products on the back end like some people, but slow speed to first dollar. Startup cost, I mean, you can sit here with your phone or computer and yap. So I think that's extremely low startup cost, although it takes a time cost. And you have to be willing to put yourself out there. So I think a lot of people struggle with putting themselves out there and getting into this, just talking to a camera. Scalability, it's extremely scalable. It requires time, effort, which we'll get into later, but it is an extremely scalable business model for you to scale over time. Risk, there's really no financial risk. There's a high time risk, and time is money at the end of the day. And there's definitely a platform risk. Like if you are on a platform, whether it's YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, those platforms have control over everything. If you get your page banned, your profile banned, if somebody reports you, if you say something that they don't agree with, and they impose their version of morality, which I always find very strange. Just like AI has its own version of morality, it's very West Coast American morality. If you say something against that, then you can get banned. So you need to be very, very careful. And it could also even be on some people's platforms. Somebody you have on, a guest says something, and then you're like, oh no, going to get banned. Time freedom. So this is a business you have to keep doing, unless you're doing, well, you can't really be doing content. You can't be an influencer with AI yet, but maybe you can own an AI influencer in the future. It's a treadmill. You have to keep doing it. It's not something that you can build into a system and totally forget. You still have to do the content, do the business, unless you build, a media company that doesn't even have you as the talent. But we're not going into that today. We're talking about content creation as a income stream for you or me, using us. Ceiling. So the ceiling is super high. I put it at 10 out of 10. I mean, there are content creators out there. I mean, there's a few who make billions of dollars, but mostly it's, I know people personally making millions of dollars out of content creation and who have made millions of dollars. Lifestyle quality, I mean, you can use this as a way to expense your lifestyle, which is pretty cool. And you can say, oh, I'm doing this because of content. At the same time, it depends whether you want your lifestyle to be public, whether your lifestyle is with your content, whether that's part of it. As a more private person, I don't tend to share all my lifestyle on socials, and then that jars with some of the things that you want to do as a content creator. And the probability of success. So So AI says this is a winner takes most distribution. I think that, just like anything, if you do it long enough, consistently enough, you will have some level of success and probably easily enough to live on. Um, but just like any other business, you have to be working on the business, not just in the business creating content. And if you're doing that, then it's a bit of a different skill set, which we'll get into later. So what's the day-to-day of a content creator? So what do content creators do is they produce content. And really, I think what we're talking about here as content creators is video content creation. Yes, I know people that make a living with their YouTube content or their Facebook content, but most people, when they say content creator, think of video. So it's either long form video on YouTube or short form video on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I'm not a TikTok user, but I know a lot of people make real money off TikTok, but their payouts are very low. And also, I guess in the US, there's Snap, which I've never used. So publishing content consistently, which is scripting, filming, editing, creating thumbnails, which you can all outsource, but imagine you're doing this to start with. If you go silent and stop publishing, most content this is not evergreen. Some of it is. So your income will go down. You need to be obsessed with analytics. You need to be checking your analytics. You need to be practicing testing thumbnails. And then you need to be engaging with comments. And just like anything else, if you are massively visible, you will get things you don't like. So that's part of it, is putting up with maybe things that aren't the best or you don't like the most. So structural requirements, like you need to keep going. This is a consistency-based model. If you're somebody who's not necessarily doesn't get the most out of consistency, then it's not necessarily a thing for you. That being said, then you just need a structure. So me, I don't see myself as always the most consistent person, but if I have to do lives, I can get on it. And if I want to record a month of content in a day, I can do it. So if it's part of an overall marketing strategy, then we can just do it, can't we? We just have to sit down and get the work done. Platforms. So we are dependent on the platforms then. So if it's a business, you want to be driving them off the platform onto something else, whether that's an opt-in, whether that's Patreon, whether that's a newsletter or something else, freebies. And burnout can be a real risk, because I know several content producers and influencers, people who rely on content for their income. And either you burn out if you're not passionate about the content and you're just doing it all the time for money, or you lose passion for it because it becomes about the money, not about the creativity. Or I don't know, we're just not interested in the same thing forever. And if it's a specific niche you've created, then it's having the flexibility to move around from niche to niche or from interest to interest. So the winners, content creation. So before we get into that, I'm going to talk a bit about my experience. When I first got into Amazon, I met a bunch of Amazon influencers. And Amazon influencers being people that educate about Amazon, run conferences, are really like the faces. And my insight from talking to different influencers in different spaces is that the influencers usually don't have anywhere near the biggest businesses, or usually, this isn't everyone, of course, their businesses were much smaller than that even I imagined. Like they promote selling, they sell courses, they host things, but they have a few products making a few $1,000s a month. Or they run agencies and they do content, but really the content makes as much money as the agency. And I think often content producers, so people that want to educate, want to share, want to build a following, aren't necessarily the same people that want to just do business, make money, live off that money. And that separation is what holds a lot of people back, because they're not necessarily coming at it from a business mindset. They're coming at it from a content mindset, which is great for following, but not such great for monetization. And then the people that do have both at once, they're the ones that make fortunes very, very quickly, in my experience. So just to share, just because you're not super passionate about making content and you think it's not going to get me excited every day to make content, that doesn't mean you can't make content. It just means that maybe you're set up for a business that uses content just as traffic generation. You don't have to vlog your entire life. You don't have to always be on socials. You just have to produce enough content that people build these sapiosocial relationship with your avatar, who's you talking, because content is not you, is it? Like, that's how the mindset shift that I want to put out there for other people. If somebody doesn't like your content, doesn't mean they don't like you. This is just the one video or the one thing you've put out. It's not your entire personality. It's not you as your business. It's just a piece of content. And unless they've consumed everything or they know you personally, it's not you. So it's all just business, or it's all just content. It's one aspect. So how do the numbers break down? Where can you make money if you're a content creator? Making money. So you can make money from different places. First part, which everyone thinks about first if they've watched YouTube or maybe Facebook does it now, is ad revenue. So the platform just pays you for content. That means usually a CPM. CPM means the cost. Doesn't make sense. But anyway, charge or cost per M, thousand. M means thousand as a Roman numeral. So that means how many dollars you get paid per 1,000 views. Usually, I mean, almost always, these are single-digit dollars. So if it's say trash content, if it's entertainment content, I think that goes down as low as what, $1.50 per 1,000 views. And for like high-end content, that could be $6 to $8. I think. Don't quote me on those numbers. High value being financial education, money, something like that. So what's that mean? It means you need enormous volume. You have 1 million views, and it is 1 million views in a video, and it's $1 per 1,000. How much do you make? $1,000. $1,000 sounds pretty good, but 1 million views is a lot. And how often are you putting out those videos? But if it's $8 CPM, then you're talking $8,000. So better. So that's one way of making money. Second way is sponsors or brand deals. So brands pay for the same thing. They usually pay CPM at the end, pay per 1,000 views. But if you have the audience for their product, your audience is worth way more, especially because it's you talking about the product as usually as a mid video read, like ad read. It's worth way more to them. So they're willing to pay you way more than YouTube would, because YouTube will try and put the right content on, but it can't charge its advertisers that much, because also it's trying to spread their money over many, many, many videos. So they're going to get some good ones like yours and also some crap ones. But if they pay you directly, they're paying you for direct access to your audience. So CPM is much higher. The annoying thing here is it's not just automatic. You have to negotiate every one of these deals. So you have to either approach the brand or they approach you, negotiate with them, requires you scale. Something same as the ad revenue requires some scale. And you need to be very specific in your niche if you want to attract the highest level brands. But you can earn a lot, whether it's sponsorships or affiliate. So affiliate is where you push their products. You can get paid a lot. For example, I had a friend who got into a niche recently of high-level sports equipment. And the cool thing about high-level sports equipment is it's expensive and it tends to have wealthy, wealthy athletes. And the good thing about that is, well, if you did affiliate or if you do anything, if that brand makes one sale and the product is $3,000, $4,000, they can afford to pay you a lot of money. And if your video inspires purchases of $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, if they can give you 20% commission on that, you can make a lot of money. You can make $20,000 a video, $50,000 video, $100,000 a video if you're pushing an expensive product that makes people buy and has a niche following. And that's exactly what a friend of mine did in the last couple of years. And he's killing it with that very small audience, which is very cool. So you can do that. You do affiliate, you can do sponsorships, two sides of the same coin. Affiliate is you pushing someone's product with or without their permission. And you'll have their permission because you have the affiliate link, but with or without their request. And then you can do your own products or services. So this could be courses, communities. Well, communities separate on this list, but these could be courses. They could be physical products. They could be education products. It could be many, many different things. You could sell consulting. You could sell your own management services. You'd sell coaching. Really anything you can sell to your audience, because they've already started to build this relationship with you. They're coming in as hot leads, maybe not even warm leads, like people who trust you and are ready to buy. So super cool way of building up a following. I've had a very small example of that because I've only been in content for a couple of months, and I've already had people come to me and say, hey, I love your content. How do I sign up? Like, this is going to go even further in the future as it goes outside of my circle of influence. But yeah, I think it's very, very cool. You have to obviously run an actual business behind this, though. This is a real business with content as an acquisition channel. So you have everything else. I see a business as 4 verticals, really. So you have your product or service. Yeah, product or service. Operations and finance, collecting the money. Sales and marketing. So really, out of product, service, finance, ops, sales, and marketing, you're really just taking care of marketing. So you still have your product or service to run, your finance and your operations to run, and your sales to run. But we've talked about those already. You can just strap this onto the front of one of the other models we've been talking about already and supercharge your long-term growth, because this content thing compounds over time. What's next? Memberships or community. So memberships, community, another cool way to monetize your content or to add to your current business. People don't pay for information anymore. So this is an argument people make a lot at the moment. Information is free and it's on AI and it's everywhere. But what they do pay for is implementation, accountability, and community. So yes, we can all get the information, but then why are we not all maximizing what we achieve from this information? It's because we're not accountable. We don't have other people we know doing it, and we don't necessarily know how to implement it fully. So they're the 3 things we pay for, and you can sell that to your audience, whatever that may be. All right, so someone has 100,000 followers. On ad revenue alone, it might make a small side income. I know people with 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 followers making, small money from it. But if somebody owns a product or a business behind that, this could be a multi-6-figure or 7-figure business. There's always that story Alex Hormozy uses of somebody with like 10,000 Instagram followers making $1 million a year. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen people with small numbers of followers creating huge incomes. I've also seen people with large numbers of followers making okay income, vastly increase their income by changing the offer. So somebody that had a following, for example, in the past about, I think it was career coaching, career guidance, started selling, make money online. As always, the best way to make money online is to teach people to make money online. But selling make money online type offers to the same audience, 10x their income almost overnight, within a year, which for me is almost overnight. So what type of creator are you? Are you a hobbyist? You're just starting out, you're below monetization thresholds, you're just starting to put content out there. Are you a platform monetized creator? So you monetize your platform, you can start making some actual money from the content, and then also brands will start looking at you. Or do you have a creator-led business? There are creator-led businesses out there making, $2, $3, $4, $5 million a month. My favorite one at the moment is, in terms of business, is Caleb Hammer, his financial audit podcast. They've done so well. From what I see, he's making millions of dollars a month, and because he has finance mixed with education, mixed with products, and he's just killing it. But he's just another in-person filmed podcast like anyone else. So, numbers that matter. There's an essay out there. I can't remember who it's by. We can Google it later, or you Google it. It's called 1,000 True Fans. I don't know if it was by Seth Godin, maybe, or somebody else. But what it says is, in order to have a very successful business, you just need 1,000 true fans. If 1,000 people follow you, know, like, trust you, then you can have an extremely successful business just from that. Email capture rate. So of those 1,000 people, how are we collecting the emails? How are we collecting their contact information? Are we building a channel that we can directly talk to them as opposed to rely on the platform that may cut us off at any time? And how long does it take to produce a piece of content? I don't think I'd like to do it, but I really like these IRL streamers that have people follow them all the time, stream their life up to a point, and then they have a whole distribution system where people clip it, distribute it, and then it works on brand deals. I think that's a very interesting model. I don't know if I'd want to broadcast my entire life, but it's extremely interesting. And that solves somewhat the distribution issue for me. So some case studies. Who should I talk about? One of my clients, hello if you're out there, I won't name drop you, had 500,000 followers, and she had her own product and it's moving forward. And that product's doing well, making tens of thousands of dollars a year, but not hundreds. So what we sat down is we made a plan of how to monetize this audience better. Because if you have 500,000 people, what's that classic thing? All you need to do to become a billionaire is have 1 billion people give you $1. Or if you want to become a millionaire, you just get 1 million people to give you $1. Well, if you have 500,000 people, how do you get 500,000 people to give you $1? What's something that everyone wants? What's some other way of us monetizing this attention? Good question. Other people, I've had friends who have viral news sites. Good thing about viral news site is it's not your content, it's other people's content. But then again, you are at the mercy of the algorithm then, because in the past, viral news has done well, and they're not well, and they're not well. I know people with niche followings that is very good at like email marketing and certain types of content, say on Facebook. I know people who do very well on LinkedIn and make 7 figures off LinkedIn. That is written posts or on Twitter. So it doesn't have to be video, but just pick what you're good at. If you're good at writing, LinkedIn, Twitter. If you're good at video, or you want to be good at video, Instagram, YouTube, maybe TikTok, depending on what the audience is, Facebook. If you want to do audio only, podcasts. So podcasts are hard for distribution, and most people now are doing podcasts with video so they can do short form video clipping and distribution. But, Spotify, other podcast platforms, you publish to a third party and they go on the podcast platforms. And yeah, anything else? If there's anything else, comment it down below because there's so much going on. So what if you want to enter the model yourself? If you want to become a content creator, first, what do you want to make content in? Choose. Can be anything. I would start with one topic that you find fun, and the audience has money. I mean, that's almost in everything. Like the interesting thing about niches. So niches, what are niches? Like anything, just looking around. Keyboards, watches, pipes, remote control cars, remote control airplanes, drones. All of these niche hobbies have people that spend a lot of money on their hobbies. That's super cool. So all these niches have a dedicated audience, a small audience, and they're probably ones you can build your brand in much faster than trying to go for generic, this is what I think about life type content, because everyone does that. So what would be the super niche you might want to get into? I would go more niche to start with. What are your niche interests? My niche interests, what are they? For a while, I got into keyboards. There's a keyboard back there, or watches, or pipes, if you know me. But all of this kind of stuff is a super niche, small community, and you could grow very quickly to become the guy in that community. So then you think what you might eventually sell. So with one of those niches, you might sell your own kits for putting it together. You might have a community. You might create your own product. You may be an affiliate for other people's products, whose products you really like. So what is your specific niche there? Then 3, pick the platform. So as I said before, are you a writer? Are you a talker? Are you short form video? Like what type of content you want to produce? Step 4, do the doing. Just do regular content for months before judging anything. So do the first 50 pieces of content and then decide. This is the problem with any business. As there's more opportunity always, it's like, oh, the grass is greener. Now let's just keep on this path for 3 to 6 months minimum, ideally 6, 50 pieces of content, and then see how you feel after that. Don't just give up after 1 or 2. 5, so after you've started doing that, just do the basic backend. Basic backend stuff is start collecting emails. Every piece of content should have a reason to join or a call to action at least written below it. Sell something early on. Like if you get a few followers, see if they want to buy something. Whether it's a paid workshop, a small service, a product, an affiliate deal, push into that. and then just reinvest as you go. So don't spend all your money at the start on expensive equipment. For me, buying expensive equipment or investing a lot in stuff so that we can get things done is just a form of procrastination. And it's just a form of us thinking, oh, we're making progress because we're buying stuff. I would say, don't do that. Um, only invest on the back of what you've done already. And most of us have phones. My phone's over there. But you have a good phone, any phone, smartphone, decent smartphone or iPhone from the last 5 years, the video quality is going to be excellent. Just pick a filming location that's going to do the best for the camera. So this location here, it's pretty dark, looks nice, but wouldn't be great on some types of phone. But I've got a decent-ish camera, so it looks good. So if you don't have a really, really good camera, have a well-lit background. If you have a well-lit background and well-lit foreground, any camera will give you a decent video, even like a 6-year-old mid-range Samsung. So let's get into the mistakes and the ways to win. So mistakes and traps. Follow a count as a goal or views as a goal. Views are vanity, just like any business. Revenue is vanity, profit is sanity, cash is reality in any business. Maybe something that would go for that content creators is views are vanity, engagement is sanity, cash is reality. Yeah, cash is always reality. Money in your pocket, if it's a business, is what matters, and money kept, so profit or money in your pocket. Other mistakes: never launching an offer, just building audience. Eventually you have to do an offer, and I would say try and do it within the first 6 months. See if these people are willing to buy something from you. 3, renting an audience. So yes, we've all done it in business. We've used other people's audiences. We've monetized them. We've paid people commissions. That's great. But building our own audience is the only way to evergreen have users, have viewers. Confusing consistency with strategy. So consistency is great, and we have to keep making sure we take a step back. Are we going in the right direction? And then carry on forward. So being strategic as well after we've been consistent, and then scaling all ourselves. So at a point, we want to get other people to do work for us. There are people out there who just do it all themselves forever, and that's fine if they can do it. But I always say build it in for when you're not feeling motivated and you want to relax and coast for a bit. If you have a team of people that can do the production, management, make sure everything's moving forward, the business will still continue without you, even if it doesn't grow too much. Then you can get back into it and grow it. It doesn't decline. Do not let your business decline. Too many people work super hard, do it all themselves, feel a bit burned out, relax, it goes down, up, down, up, down. No, we put the team in place so that when we're not feeling good, business continues, and then when we're feeling good again, it continues up. So, all right, let's see. Can a content creator make you rich? As a standalone business, as a platform monetized creator, probably, well, yes, technically, but probably not you. You have to do really well, find a niche that's super, super valuable, and have decent amount of luck, as well as being an engaging person. So the probability is probably similar to trading, of coming rich just through platform monetization. Can it make you rich as the front end of a real business? Definitely. You do not need many people. Like, say you're doing a business that's got a retainer of $2,000 to $10,000 a month. You only need 1 to 2 to 5 people a month to sign up to have a very, very good business. If you're doing $5,000 a month retainers, you have 2 new customers a month, you make an extra $10,000 a month every month. That's $120,000 a month per year. So by the end of year 1, you'll be making $120,000 a month. You're a millionaire now. Cool. And that's only getting 2 clients a month. And realistically, how many engaged people do you need for 2 clients a month? 100? 1,000? Not more than 1,000 for sure. That's where the 1,000 true fans comes from. Do they make you wealthy? Yeah, I mean, wealth for me is a byproduct of accumulating money. So yes, over time. And the one-line verdict is, don't become a content creator, become a business owner that produces content. So who should do this? I struggle to say everyone should do this, because that's been the message of many people over the last few years, is everyone should do content. At the same time, all my friends who've done content consistently for their own personal branding have done really well out of it. And all my friends that haven't have still done well, just through different types of business. But I would say that my friends that have produced content, have a personal following, find it much easier to launch new products, launch new brands, and engage people. So I would say, yeah, I mean, we should all probably be doing more content strategically. Who would I follow for strategic content? Good question from me. I don't know who I'd follow for strategic content. I would pick people whose content I like and emulate that. So that's what I'm doing now, is I pick people who I like their style of content and I want to emulate that, and they're doing well out of it. So emulate the style, like nothing in business or life is us starting completely from scratch. We're all building upon best practice from before. And if we're starting from scratch, then we know we haven't done enough research, because we should be emulating. Anyone that wants to become a good copywriter, they used to tell them, I'm sure they still do, to copy out what's the Gary Halbert letters. Just copy out the letters of this amazing copywriter word for word, because it starts to get it into your head how it works. We are all humans. We learn through repetitive behaviors of others. So yeah, copy and emulate until you have your own style, and then take it from there. So that's it. 30 minutes. We have done content creation. What do you think? I'd love any feedback, comments, likes, dislikes. Let me know what you think of this video. We will be back again week after next, because next week I'm traveling. Maybe we'll be live from somewhere else. And yeah, if you're interested in more conversations like this, follow me on the platforms. If you're interested in coaching and learning how to apply this and coming up with a strategy of how to apply this, reach out to me. I've been working on a new diagnostic framework where we sit down together, we work out what the biggest lever is in your business and what the biggest block is holding you back. So if you're interested in sitting down together, figuring out what the biggest lever that you should be pulling this year is, why you haven't pulled it yet, and if I can help you do that, or even just to identify it, head to johncavendish.com, my website, click book a fit session, and we'll dive in and figure out if that's a good fit for you. So have a great weekend, everyone. I'm looking forward to seeing you all in a week or two. If you are in Ho Chi Minh City, reach out to me. I will be in Ho Chi Minh next week for 5 days for an event, and my parents will be in town too. So yeah, have a great weekend, everyone. I will see you all very, very